What's up, guys? It's the Togo Brothers. It's 65 degrees today, and yeah, come on with me. I'm gonna take you with me as I go home, and I want to show you what driving is like to somebody like me. I do have a form of autism, so my brain works differently, okay? I have been licensed since I was 19 years old. I got my license late because I never really got time to go to the DMV, and I always tried to psych myself out that I would never pass. Well, here I am, years later, a lot years later, almost 40, licensed driver. Now, I am licensed in the state of Virginia, and each state has their driving policies and laws different. So you kind of have to tailor them to whatever you're dealing with or doing. Now, for me, right now, this is just pretty easy, pretty solid, right? I know that all the lights are green that show me green, and I'm staying in my lane, and I have to visually, consciously be aware of what's next to me. Like, for example, there's a tractor trailer hauling gasoline in their tank that they're hauling, so I have to consciously be aware of that. And I have to consciously be aware that there's cars next to me that could be turning away from me, but they're present. And I realize that a lot of these people are human. They're not machines. That humans can make a mistake too. And what some people never fail to realize is that machines make mistakes too. Right? You guys got to be aware of that and be cognizant of that, right? Now, I need to get over, and I don't expect them to let me in. So I have to do the courteous thing and let them know, hey, I'm about to make a movement. So I always signal before I even do that, so that they can give me room. Now, luckily, the car next to me is opening the distance to allow me to make that move. In some areas and in some states, they're not that nice to you. You pretty much have to fight for it. I don't mean get out and put your hands up and fist fight it, but I mean you have to aggressively maneuver your car and fight for that spot. I realize I should have turned that way, but see, mentally, I can't, and I'm not going to block everybody, so I'm just going to make a different choice. Now, years and years and years ago, before I was licensed, I used to think, oh, I have to turn here, I got to do it. That would have caused a lot of wreck, a lot of accident. So I just don't. I can always go around. Like they say in the aviation industry, you can always go around. And I forget the rest of the song, but that's the gist of the song. So you can always go around. Given that you have enough gas, do not make circles when you only have 15 miles left to an empty tank. Don't do that. And that's also another thing. So I have to consciously be aware that things may change without my discretion. And I have to be aware of that, right? Like right now, I'm coming up to a yellow light. Well, now it's red, but a yellow light. And there's 3 lanes. Now, mentally, I usually tell myself, Do I stay in this lane? Do I stay in that lane? Do I stay in that lane? And mentally, when I think of this, I usually always mentally tell myself, okay, at the very end of my driving, not my goal, my driving, where am I going to make my movement and or direction? If I'm going to go left, I need to stay in this lane. If I'm going to go right, I need to stay in that side lane. So that's what I end up doing. Now, if I don't know or I'm indecisive, I usually stay in the middle lane so that if I need to merge in the left lane, I can. Or if I know that my immediate action won't be a left or right, I will stay in the middle so that in the event that one of these lanes disappear, I won't panic. Because the one thing that you gotta learn in driving is if your anxiety is through the roof, you shouldn't be driving. You shouldn't be on the road. Because you're gonna scare somebody else. Now, I'm not gonna do that because I don't condone fiddling with a lot of stuff in the car while you're driving. But sometimes I would pick a song and just put it on repeat over and over and over and over and over again. Yeah, it's boring to some people, but mentally it stimulates me, right? Is what people call it, it's a sensory need. Okay, I don't know why this guy chose to do this, but now he's blocking my lane. I did that because they stopped into my lane. I can't move. You're not supposed to stop when you're blocking a lane of traffic. Okay? It wasn't that somebody told them to do that, and it wasn't that somebody informed them to do that, and it wasn't the only choice. They clearly had another choice to wait, right? They easily could have waited, okay, to make a different move. But they chose to make that move or that action, and unfortunately, that disrupted me. Now, let's put that in reverse. If I made that move, a lot of people would be mad at me. So, having that, I have to think people won't like that. So I can't do that. Okay, so now we're going into a residential type area, and I'm thinking about a lot of things. I'm thinking about what houses look like. I'm thinking about speed bumps that could be on the road. I'm thinking about children and people that could be walking, not realizing that we're driving and can walk into the road, so I have to make that decision quickly. I don't know if you guys are noticing, but I hold my steering wheel differently than you're tending to. I can't get used to driving like this. This drives me crazy. This makes me think that I'm a madman trying to drive and get out of my way. So either I will typically hold where this little hole is right here, right? Okay, I will grip it and then just move it easily. Now, given that I need to make a motion, I'll grab it and move it, okay? But 9 times out of 10, if you guys watch my videos, I usually will hold it at 12 o'clock, okay? Because all it does and all it needs is a pull and push motion, right? I am not DOT certified. I am not DMV qualified. I know I'm not teaching you the standard procedure for driving. I understand that. But when it's the end of the day, you, the people watching this video, if you own a vehicle and have a car, motorcycle, truck, what have you, you are responsible for the operation of that or this vehicle, right? This meaning your vehicle. You are responsible for it. So, you need to be in control of all the movements. Now, because of the reaction time in my brain, I am responsible enough and I'm conscious enough to, if I need to, jerk it to the left and jerk it back to the right so I can maneuver around the obstacle. Okay? Now, I hope no one's behind me because I'm going to make them really mad if that's the case. People do not like it when you do this. When you hold them up. Now, I don't have my GPS with me, so I'm just doing this strictly from memory and hoping it's correct. And I recognize a lot of these places, so I'm almost positive that we're going in the right direction. Now, I'm looking for an old street that my school was on, and I know that I'm going the right way. That's another thing, too. When I drive, being autistic, I look for landmarks. When I see landmarks I know and recognize, I know I don't need GPS. Okay, so I'm coming up over the hill, and I see this big building. It looks like a campus building, and I remember that at that campus building, it was right across from where the street is that I need to turn right onto for this major road. So it's right in front of me. Now, I know mentally that I need to turn left because of that landmark. People with autism make all kinds of connections instantaneously, right? They are instantaneously recognizing street signs, buildings, people, businesses, smells, sounds. So when I go down here and it's about 6 or 7 o'clock, right? You're gonna hear the band play. Well, you would have if you were with me at that time of day, which I'm not. Oh, real quick. Right across the street, turning left, is my same car. I recognize my same car from being inside because I've also been outside my car. These are things that people with autism connect. Alright, so the light is green. The arrow is green, which means I can go, but the people that's across from me can't go yet because it was a clear instruction. I can go. It's my turn. Okay. So now we're coming up on the area right near the front entrance to my school. This is where all the neighborhood kids were, right next to it. And I remember all these cars parked on the side. This was always an occurring thing. And there's the maintenance facility right there. Yep, all the maintenance trucks right next to the school. My high school was huge, guys. It was massive. You would think that it's a university, like a college university. I'll have to go one day and show you when we have time, and show you some things I remember as being part of a person that had already graduated high school. I graduated in 2006. I was supposed to graduate in 2005, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough credits because I took an elective class that wasn't a standard class, okay, that took away one of my credits. You got to have a certain number of credits to graduate high school. Like, let's say you got to have a cumulative number of 30 credits, right, for all your classes. Well, I took an elective that took 2 of those credits. So, like, let's say I needed 30, right? An elective class was 1 credit for 2 credit amounts, right? So it's like saying this machine takes 2 coins and you insert 2 coins, but that 1 coin is half of a coin. So you still need to add another coin to make a full coin credit. Make sense? Okay. So it's the same thing with my high school credits. I didn't have enough of those credits to graduate because one class took up the time span of the credit class I could have taken. It was actually due to traveling was the answer. I took a whole period to go to my class, which was kind of fun because I got the chance to leave school and go to a different location and learn and then go back to school. It was kind of like going to work and then going back to school. Yep, so we're going to go by one of my old favorite stores, Target. This was the back way to Target, I remember. There were a lot of trees hanging over. There were a lot of people walking by, that sort of thing. I know this is random, guys, but I'm just thinking about this just now. And people with autism are thinking of the most random things you could name, right? Go back and watch some of my videos. I talk about anything and everything at complete random moments. But that's just the way my brain is wired. And sometimes it'll all go back to the same thought, right? See, watch my hand, right? I'm keeping it in line steady. But if I wanted to, right, I'm gonna leave some distance between all of me and the cars. Watch this, okay? Check my mirrors, check behind me, check my other mirror. I'm good, okay. All he has to do, now I'm in the other lane. Now I'm in the other lane, okay? Simple as that. Now, I can make it more quickly. I'm not going to do it, but you guys get the point. I just have to move my palm back and forth in a jerking motion to avoid an obstacle. Matter of fact, that happened to me today. There was an obstacle in the road, and I just moved the wheel quickly to one side, quickly back to the other. And the cars behind me, they saw that and made that same motion. Alright, so I remember this is the Walmart right here. And I remember this intersection. I remember this being a pretty busy intersection, so. And they're actually going to go down towards the Parkway right now. This is where we're going. Okay? So now visually I'm scanning and I don't see the dotted mark. So we know what that tells me? That this is a 1-lane road. So I have to be conscious of cars to the right and the left of me trying to go around me to get into that 1-lane road because they need to be there quickly. I think it's ridiculous. But some drivers don't think that way. Ooh, I'm getting the hiccups. I don't know, but earlier I did have some Red Bull today. I have a very interesting fact to tell you. These things, right, with the really weird tabs, are only 90 milligrams of caffeine. Weird. Okay, so this is a good point. This lane here, right in front of me, is going left. They can only go left. The lane next to me can go left and straight. So they can go like this, right? So that puts me in a predicament. I need to watch for those people over here that are gonna come next to me as I go left. And the people on that side can go right, but they have a special rule as they drive, right? This pretty much applies to most states. You can go right on red as long as you yield to oncoming traffic coming into your lane. It's the only stipulation. You can't just go because you feel like it. you have to wait. And they are ridiculously close to that bumper. Oh. All that's got to happen is that needs to be in manual, and they come back, not put in gear, and collide. Dangerous position. I wish I could show you guys. And then one thing I like to do is I like to take my rearview mirror, and instead of pointing it so I can see my car, you're actually supposed to point it so you can see a majority of the lane next to you. Well, right here, I don't know if you can see it, but right in the corner, you see it in my finger? I can actually see my blind spot, so I can say, hey, you're right next to me, right? I shouldn't move really quickly. I guess I can fold this back up. Don't need it. All right, so the light is green. I actually have a green arrow saying I can only go left. Now, the car next to me didn't go straight, it turned. So I had to be conscious of that motion, that movement. Because who knows, eventually as soon as they turn that same direction with me, they're gonna try to merge into my lane. I have to be aware of this. So right now it's the fall. You guys can't tell, well you will in a little bit because you'll see the different colors. But as I drive, I always just look at the foliage, I look at the landscape as I'm driving in front of me. Like the colors are just pretty, man. Oh, beautiful. So I'm stopped, that's why my hand is in the middle. Now when I drive, take it off, and I put it where I'm comfortable. That sound, that was a motorbike. And whenever I hear that, knowing that I have one at home, I always just picture myself and kind of visualize myself riding as I hear these noises. You can hear that kaput, kaput. And I'm thinking, man, I think that might need to be tuned a little bit. Because it definitely does not sound standard. It shouldn't sound like that at all. And it's definitely weaving back and forth in and out of traffic. So I should focus and make sure that the cars in front of me are not going to stop all of a sudden. And they like to keep a good car and a half to 2 cars lengths worth of distance, so that if they do stop, I can make a decision in that amount of time and stop successfully. I think it's a standard bike, which is basically a dirt bike mixed with an adventure bike mixed with a street bike. I don't know if you guys can hear the noise in the mic. So I'm on the parkway right now, and that's why we're kind of stopped here and there, because there are lights that are down this road, and there's like intersections and stuff, so we have to be conscious of all that. Now you guys are gonna see how I turn my wheel, and I have enough understanding of how the wheel's supposed to turn, and enough contact and enough control that I feel confident in controlling my vehicle that way. this one, but it's like the next 2 or 3. Also for me, because I'm autistic, when you say, all right, the next right, like right now I'm halfway. When you say the next right, I don't think it's the one I'm approaching. I think it's the one after that, because when you say the next one, that means not this one, but the next one, right? Like if you say not this week, but next Sunday, you're telling me not this coming Sunday that I'm going to be in. Like now it's Monday, so not this Sunday, but the next Sunday after that, like 2 weeks later. For me, it's the same thing when you do it in instructions and directions. That's how my brain processes things like that. Alright, so we're going to be approaching this major intersection. This is actually where my street is on. So, I'm going to... I have a pretty good grip on my steering wheel. Not firm grip, but a decent grip that I can move it if I need to, because it's power steering. So I'm going to loosen up my grip, slide my hand, touch the blinker, and signal. Now, it's about 20 yards, 25 yards in front of me. So, am I early? Yes. But at least the cars behind me know what's going on. So now that I've did this, and I don't need to do this anymore, I will take my hands, kind of get a firm grip, and start moving it back up. In real time, this is what it looks like. You see? You hear Morgan Wallen in the background, if you guys are wondering. Okay, so now I'm approaching it. Now, I'm going to take my hand, I'm going to slide over here, do it that way. Now, most people would just do it and hold it the whole time. So now it's red for me. I can't go yet. The car in front of me says TSA and some numbers. I work with airlines and TSA, the TSA security agency. Like, I'm making a connection there. Yeah. So I went out today and I bought this. This is the mic I bought. And I bought this because it has a tripod stand. Wonder if I have anything in here. Not accessible. Ah, yes I do. Okay. Every now and then, I gotta focus and look at the colors of the signal. Because for me right now, it's red. And I gotta realize there's cars behind me that are probably waiting to turn too. So I can't be always looking down. Oh, wow. Okay. So, there's a little tripod stand itself, and there's a whole cord that goes to it, and there's a whole little thing here. You know what? I can use my photo tripod for this. Oh, this is cool. So, that's what it looks like in the box. We're about to turn, guys, so I'm going to take this and put it back in the box and put it away. Okay. Watch the wheel. You see, my hand never moved. All that happened was I rotated the wheel with my palm. That's how I turn. Because I have more control. Because all I have to do is, as I palm it, grab the wheel. Watch. Hold on. Okay, here's my palm. Grab the wheel. My palm, grab the wheel. And I have more control that way. Also, when you turn and have to park backwards, it's much easier to maneuver your steering wheel when you do that. Because when you don't, you just look like you're a new driver when you do. I gotta be honest. That's what it looks like to me. Matter of fact, guys, I'm gonna go up the next block and I'm gonna go and make a U-turn and show you. But normally I would go up another block and then cut in there and then go around and then park on the side of the street. So, signal, take my steering wheel, slow down. Okay. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there's a sensor in your steering wheel that the steering wheel senses when you've completed your rotation when you turn. So it auto cancels. Pretty cool, right? Okay, same thing. Turn left. Okay. Now, I'm going to make a U-turn up here because I need to park on the side of my street. Here's my bike. Okay, so I typically will turn left, go along the side, come up here a little bit, wait for the car to pass me, and then make a U-turn. Now, take my palm, go back around, and we're good to go. And then, take my hand off, pull it up, and then gauge where my tire is in the curb, pull it away, and then coast, and then observe that my back of my bumper is flush with the curb. Take my gear shift lever, put it in park, and then you see how this is turned that way? I need to straighten it out, so now I'm straight. Now I can cut off the power. But I forgot to roll up the window, so let's do that. Okay, I'm home. Okay, so grab my glasses. Put them behind me. Alright, take my phone with me. Let's go inside. Thank you for watching.